Our next guest probably needs no introduction. You might recognize him as the original President Grant, from Scandal on ABC.
Not to be confused with Ulysses S. Grant.
Or Melly. I mean, there's been a couple of them.
Oh, her.
Yeah. Actor, producer, director, and also Americares board member Tony Goldwyn.
Right.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks, AJ. Happy to be here.
We've been looking forward to this interview all morning, so we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about Americares and your partnership with them in a moment. First, we got to talk shop. I'm a Hollywood guy.
Okay,
I talk entertainment. You got a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
So 6 months on Broadway, network.
Yes.
That's wrapping up now?
We have 1 more month to go, yeah.
One more month to go.
Amazing production with myself and Bryan Cranston and Tatiana Maslany.
Heard of Bryan Cranston?
Yep.
Yeah, heard of him.
Yep.
Yeah. What's that like, 6 days a week, to go from a series on ABC for years and then to go into a 6-day-a-week live show? How's that transition been for you and what's that like?
It's been amazing. I started out working in the theater, so I've always gone back and forth. We actually have a rare schedule, thanks to Bryan. We only do 5 days a week, so we do 7 shows. Ooh. Normally in the theater, you do only get 1 day off, which is, it's quite grueling. We get a break, so this has been just fun. But it's a lot.
Yeah.
And, but it's an incredible production that directed by a very famous and brilliant European director named Ivo van Hoven. It's based on the 1976 movie starring Faye Dunaway and William Holden and Peter Finch, which is a commentary on our media culture, which is super relevant today. Yeah. And there's a very groundbreaking production. So it's been great.
How's it feel to flex that muscle to get back on the stage every now and then and kind of re-hone that craft?
It's the best. I mean, the great thing about what I love about the way my career is shaped is I do all different things to mix it up. So, and theater was my first passion, so I was really missing it, having been away from it. The last show I did was on Broadway right before we started Scandal, so it had been almost 10 years.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about Chambers. So how did this new show on Netflix, I don't want to know any spoilers.
Show on Netflix, which dropped last week? Or yeah.
So when did that filming take place?
We did that, started in June and finished right before I started rehearsals for Network, so in October.
So you did that on Broadway for 5 months.
Right.
And then now the show has now come out.
This show, yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. What was that experience like for you?
Chambers is really a cool show. It is, for people that don't know, check it out on Netflix. Yeah. It's one of these things that works on a lot of levels. The central character is a 16-year-old Native American girl from a poor community in Arizona. She has a heart attack and is saved by a 16-year-old girl who died that night. The parents of the heart donor, who are a wealthy white couple played by me and Uma Thurman, want to have a relationship with the girl who has our daughter's heart, and we kind of bring her into our community and give her a scholarship to school, and she's completely freaked out by these white people that are trying to bond with her. Yeah. And so it's a family drama, it's about grief, it's sort of a high school drama because you get into her, it's about cultures clashing and socioeconomic cultures clashing, and then she starts to have these bizarre associations with the dead girl. Yeah. So it becomes kind of a supernatural thriller as you realize that the circumstances of the girl's death are not what they seem. So you don't quite know whether we're deeply grieving parents or if we're nefarious on some level. It's cool. It's very cool.
I'm going to check that out now.
It's good.
Yeah, congrats on that.
Thanks.
It sounds like you choose roles, at least at this point in your career, that matter to you, and projects that matter to you, which leads me to your collaboration here with Americares, becoming a board member. Why did this organization speak to your heart, and why did you feel the need to jump on board?
Well, I've been involved with Americares for almost 20 years now. A neighbor of mine was on the board and invited my wife and I to a cocktail party to, meet here. And when I saw the work that they were doing, at that time they were primarily focused on disaster relief. And there was an extraordinary story about the founder of Americares, a guy called Bob Macaulay, who was an executive in Connecticut, paper executive, who in 1974, I think, there was a plane crash in the jungle of Vietnam, and a bunch of orphans, I think it was 143 orphans who were trying to get out of Vietnam. They crashed in the jungle, and no governmental agencies could do anything. And it was all over the news, and nothing was happening. These children were dying, and Bob turned to his wife, Lila, and said, "We got to do something about this." And they chartered a 747, took a second mortgage on their house, flew to Vietnam, got these kids out, and got them all placed in foster homes in America. And then they were hooked, and they're like, "Well, we just got to keep going." And it turned into a 747.
Not like a
That's right. No,
747.
And that inspired them, and they just started cutting through the red tape and getting problems done. So over the years now, Americares is a very big organization that is now focused primarily on healthcare, so bringing health to poor communities and impoverished communities and communities affected by disaster, to help them prepare and recover and then sustain that recovery, primarily through healthcare. But because that's the basis of everything. When communities have health care, they can thrive. And that's really our mission. So anyway, I've just gotten more and more involved, and now I'm on the board, and here
20
we
years
are.
later, you're a board member.
Yeah.
And just this morning, they announced a partnership of African Parks.
Yes.
Talk to me about
this
that.
This is an incredible partnership. One of the model of the way Americares works and why they're so efficient is they go into the communities all over the world in over 90 countries, and bring their services. They work with local partners on the ground, typically. So they would go into either a place that has a highly functioning infrastructure and then help and give what supplies they need, or go to something where there might be barely a health clinic, but with people on the ground who want to do the work themselves and know the community. Okay, so that's the model, and then they just help and bring medicine and supplies and whatever is needed and expertise to help these communities really do it themselves. So, African Parks is this extraordinary NGO in Africa, which is really based on bringing back the wildlife, the environment, and the economies of the African parks in multiple nations throughout Africa. And I think it's the largest one doing this work in Africa. So they already have an infrastructure in place. They have communities that are in desperate need of help and to save the animals, the environment, and the people in these communities. So we are now partnering with this organization to bring health into these communities and health infrastructure across multiple countries. I think we have pilot programs in 4 now, but that's going to be expanding. And it's something like 90,000 square miles or of territory in Africa. So this is a really exciting partnership, which is really hits the sweet spot of what Americares does best.
Yeah, well, I know Americares is very lucky to have you on the board. I've been a fan of you as an actor for so long.
Thanks,
I'm a huge fan of you as a person.
Thanks, man, appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, yeah, and thanks for getting the word out.
All right, you guys stick around. We've got more coming up from the Americares Summit here in New York City after the break.